going to be introduced to a very innovative code official who created the transition from where this community was, which was not very rigorous energy efficiency code, to IECC 2012, which is very stringent.
We realize technology is changing and we need to change with it.
I'm standing here in the Megahouse with John Householder. He has done something very, very innovative, and that is, as opposed to jumping right into a very stringent change for all the builders in this community, he's created a gradual transition. And we're fortunate to have him here and explain a little bit about how he came to that.
Some of these codes were going to be hard to understand for the average builder. One of the things that we decided to do when the 2012 code came into effect, and we realized that there would be things like testing take place for your ductwork and for your envelope, I realized that this would probably overwhelm most builders. And so we wanted to introduce a fashion where we could phase this in and help them learn how to meet these requirements. And every year we have tightened the requirements just a little bit, but it seems like most of our builders are coming right along with those requirements. So right now they tend to be competing with themselves on trying to make a better product. The other things that they're doing are pretty simple items like sealing and such, but they found places that they were making mistakes because of the testing.
The final and kind of the ultimate test on a good envelope for any house is your final blower door test. And this comes very near occupancy, and so everything is pretty much done. You want to watch out for a few small things like the dryer duct and the traps on the sinks. That all contributes a little bit. The tightness comes from the integrity of the air barrier on this house. So in this case, the green sheathing that was taped, and fairly meticulously taped, was your main line of defense on the walls. When it comes to the ceilings, it's the top floor ceiling plane. So in all cases, good airtight canisters were used for your downlighting, and the attic hatch obviously was air sealed. So that is the major plane on the ceiling.
The certificate for the insulation, they probably end up, here's your attic hatch.
The insulation installer is required to post that at the entrance to the attic.
Okay.
And I don't know if they've done it yet or not.
On attic insulation, one thing builders need to think about is the depth of insulation they have in their attic. We're in a climate bump zone 4, which requires you have R49 in the attic. But if you use a truss system and you raise the heels of those trusses to what's called an energy heel, then you can get by with R38 insulation in the attic. So there's some exceptions and some differences there in how you insulate the attic depending on how you frame the house or build the house. If you use trusses and you raise the heels, then you're going to get all the insulation you need up there. It's going to seal up much better, and you'll have a much better insulated home in the end.
When it comes to the floor, in this case, since the basement was not considered conditioned space and not part of our test, it's the floor itself that is the barrier.
It is insulated, and it's insulated and it's very permeable, so that moisture that's in the poured concrete walls will be able to come in and escape. So that's what's been done on this house, and from a long-term perspective, I think that's good energy and good moisture management.
The ducts, which in this house are up in the attic and in the basement, are also part of that air test. And that's the leakage through them is equivalent to leakage through the walls. So.
This room here is the equipment room. This services both the basement and the main level. Everything had to main trunks all coming out of here. The manual decalculation was done so that all the ducts remain hidden inside the floor joint.
One of the other things that we like to maintain is make sure that people understand the insulation requirements and the air barriers and the fenestration requirements, like your windows and doors.
This is a U factor. It has to be 0.35 or less. This is a 0.30.
What we've done today is confirm that this house of about 66,000 cubic feet has an air leakage at 50 Pascal of about 3.5. 3.5 is the amount of air change per hour at a depressurized condition. So that's what you do when you run the test. Now in reality, a house isn't depressurized. At a natural air change, it's going to be quite a bit smaller. The current code wants it to be below 4. Come next year, they want to bring it down to 3. And so overall, the final test is a pass.
We asked that they meet 6 when we started in May of last year.
And that's at 50 Pascal.
That's at 50 pascals, yes. And then the next code change was going to take effect July 1, and that was going to be a 4. And right now, everything that is picked up as a permit for a new structure has to meet the leakage for 4 at 50 pascals.
This was a big deal, and so kind of the creativity of getting this down to this level, and it's so important to comfort, to energy bills. I mean, it is a big issue, and that is something that happened in the Megahouse continuously throughout the process. If we monitor a house, we'll actually put the current transformers in these panels, and that will measure, if we need to, every minute data of all the circuits that we're interested in these homes.
You have a third-party rater come in and test your home, and that'll tell you how much air leakage you have. Well, there's a certificate that has to be completed by that rater. It's an energy efficiency certificate of compliance. And once this certificate of compliance is completed, then the builder has to verify the insulation that's installed in the house. Well, then this ends up getting posted on the box or inside the box, and it lives with the home, so that way the homeowner and anybody else, they know exactly how their home is rated and what the test results and how efficient it actually is.
When home inspectors come in at the end of the purchase, and they say a homeowner hires this private agency to do a home inspection, the home inspectors are introducing this information to the owner, saying, look, now you've actually got the same thing you get with your car. You've got some information that tells you what this car is built like, what the efficiency ratings of this car is. Well, same thing with a home. Now we're getting some information that tells us what this home is built like, what's behind the walls.
So when you have that certificate and the house that's exactly the same doesn't have it, you would think that this would add value to the property.
Obviously. It would me.
Once again, this is Scott Lancer. I hope you've enjoyed all the videos in this series on the Megahouse. And to learn more about how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning investments, please visit our help site at aceheatingconnect.com. Thanks again.